Rosie, this is a great, simple little recipe. It's a coconut slice with a sour cream and apple topping, which is fantastic.
That sounds delightful.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to put together. A few simple ingredients. Now, it starts with 250 grams of self-raising flour. Got lots of lift, but also nice and light and fluffy. Into the bowl it goes.
As all great baking starts.
Exactly.
With a good flour.
Exactly. You just got to make sure you get it all out of the box. I've also got 80 grams of coconut, desiccated coconut. 80 grams of almond meal, in that goes.
Lovely.
And 150 grams of brown sugar. This is my lovely wholemeal sugar, in it goes.
Brown sugar is lovely in baking, isn't it?
It gives it that sort of caramelly flavour.
Yeah, it does.
Now, we need some butter to help lubricate it and bind it all together and make it delicious. I've got 175 grams of melted butter. Pour that straight in. Now, Rosie, I want you to mix that around with a spoon until it starts to come together. It's sort of like a cheesecake base. So we make this base, put it on the bottom and bake it, and then we put the sour cream on top. But I'll get stuck into the sour cream, Rosie, because it's really, really easy. I've got my 2 eggs here. Crack them into the bowl. Very, very simple. Just crack them into the bowl like this. The other one goes in there. I should have done the 2 eggs at the same time, couldn't I? I could have done that.
You could have. I know. Those skills. You need to just keep practising them, else they go, you know.
Exactly. Now, I've got some sour cream here. I've got a whole container, 200 grams of sour cream. And you can see how thick it is. Oh, that is gorgeous.
Right, I need to get my hands in here so the ring's coming off. I'm in business now.
You are, and it comes together really easy. Great thing to get the kids to do because it'll keep them busy for a while. Cinnamon goes into here, Rosie,
lovely.
And this one here.
Oh, vanilla.
You could almost use it like aftershave or perfume, couldn't you? It's just got a beautiful flavour to it.
You've obviously not been single for a long time. That doesn't work.
The old spice just doesn't cut it anymore. OK, now I'm just going to whisk this together till it all comes together. And you can see you really need to work it to make sure it dissolves easily. Just whisk it like that and sort of see it coming together. Now that dough's coming together beautifully. So Rosie, I'm going to swap. I'll give you this to whisk it together really gently because the sour cream's really, really thick.
Give me a small bowl, haven't you? You're trying to sabotage me.
Slightly. Now, I'm going to line the baking tray with baking paper and I just peel off nice long sheets. When you're using baking paper, always tear off a little bit more. You don't want to be short with it. And what I do is scrunch it up like this. It looks like I'm going to throw it away. I can pop it across the kitchen there, but what I'll do is pull it out like this and I'll line one of the sheets this way and then the other sheet I'll line this way. And I do this because I want to make sure that the base is covered. Because we're pouring a bit of liquid on the top of it, we want to make sure it doesn't run down the side and make it stick. Now, this is a really easy part. You grab all the mixture like this, pour it into the middle, pop this bowl over here, and then it's just like making a cheesecake. We push it down into the corners and right up to the edges like that. And try and flatten it out so it's fairly even. And this will form a nice sort of biscuity base to the whole slice and holds it all together. This type of thing is something you can bake the day beforehand. You know, it's a great one to keep the kids busy during the day because they're always mucking around. Get them off the PlayStation and get them baking, which is a nice thing to do. Now, that's ready to go. You can see my fingerprints in there. That's all you need to do. This will go into the oven, Rosie, for about half an hour or so till it's nicely baked on top at 160 degrees, and then we'll take it out and then we'll put some apples on it and this, and it'll be fantastic. In we go. Rosie, you can see the base is nicely cooked. It's got that golden brown look to it and it's nice and firm.
You could have that just as biscuits, couldn't you?
You could cut it up as biscuits, but then you'd miss out on the apple topping.
We don't want that.
So I've got these apples here and I've peeled them and cored them, and I'll pop them in some water with some lemon juice, stops them from going brown. It means you can do them beforehand and have them ready. Now, Rosie, I'll just slice them. I'm just going to slice them on an angle, and you can load them straight onto there. So just if you stack them across like that, just overlapping each other, then they'll come together really, really easily.
Yeah, so very satisfying.
Now, if you wanted with the apples, you could chop them up into fine pieces or a little dice and pour it on. But when you do slice it like this, it looks quite pretty, and that's what it's all about. Doing a great job. You're doing it nice and fast. And
Wow, this is actually very relaxed, like meditation, apple meditation.
Exactly, and when you're working with someone like this, if you set up a production line or one person does one thing, you can get things done really quickly. This is what we would do in a proper commercial kitchen, but you know, this is almost like a proper commercial kitchen, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Two good chefs. Now, I'll pop that over there and I'll just slide that and we'll get it going fast.
We're probably a bit naughtier than in a commercial kitchen, don't you think?
Well,
though?
just a little bit. Now,
Probably would have been fired already.
No, I'll be the boss. So we just go into the office, the kitchen office, and we'll have a little bit of a drink or something and relax and taste some food and boss people around. That's what we do in kitchens.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, just put that in there like that and put the last couple on there. Now, it looks great like that. To finish it off, Rosie, there we go. And this is why I put a couple of layers of baking paper on it to make sure that we don't lose any of this sour cream down the side.
Lovely.
It looks luscious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you could use any cream for this, Rosie, but I tell you what, it's the sour cream that will give it that lovely flavour, and it works really, really well with the apples.
It makes it taste different, doesn't it? The sourness is lovely.
Different, it makes it taste wonderful.
Wonderful.
That's what it's about. Now, I'll just give it a bit of a tap. This goes back into the oven about 20 minutes or so. You'll see it goes golden on top. The sour cream will set. In we go. Rosie, we've been waiting patiently for this to cool down so we can get into it. And this is the other good thing about using baking paper. It makes it really easy to pick up.
Simple.
I'll just peel that down so you can see the layers around it.
That looks wonderful.
Now, I'll just put a little bit of icing sugar on it now. Plenty of that up high all over the place. You can almost serve it like this on the table, but you need to cut it. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to sort of put it together like a dessert. So I'll just cut a nice little slab of it through here, and just so we get a nice piece, just sort of crunch down through the piece, and I'll just grab this, crunch down through there, and then move this aside, bring in a little bit of a plate, and then, you know, we turn a slice into a dessert, which is probably a nice way to do it, isn't it?
It's all about the base.
And then
music and in cakes.
Exactly, and then some sour cream goes on there like that, just on the side, just because we can.
Why not?
And of course, some mint. We'll pick some of this mint in here and just make it even more delicious. And then some icing sugar on top, because I just love icing sugar. Maybe it's the chef in me, I don't know.
I think so.
Sprinkle a bit on like
Well,
that.
you've made that absolute restaurant-style slice. That is unreal.
Maybe a little bit of caramel sauce on there or something, but I think it's all we need to do now.
Yeah.
Let's move that
Let's
out of
stop
the way.
chatting and have a little taste, shall we? Get some of that sour cream.
All right, into the base there. Some sour cream on there as well. I'll put a little...
Got a big mouthful, you might have to talk for me.
That's delicious. The coconut in there, the apple in there. The sour cream works really well with it. That's a great little slice and also a dessert.
It's really, really nice, that base. I'm all about that. I could literally have that just as biscuits, but the sour cream, apple on top, that's going in my one of my favourites.
Are you going to steal one of my recipes?
Absolutely.
I like that.